And Bart Scott, I'll come to you first on this one. I mean, is there any way Tim Tebow can just be one of 90 considering everything?
Look, we're talking about Tim Tebow. We're talking about his popcorn muscles. Look like Tim Tebow's been chucking up on the whey protein. Who cares? That has nothing to do with the ability to block somebody. Are we worried about him blocking some of the elite defensive ends in the game? What it's going to do is make him need some hamstring helper when he run his out route, when he pop that hammy off the bone by trying to go 0 to 100. Listen, this is crazy. Listen, but I know Tebow. He's like a good tapeworm, man. He just feeding and festering off all the scraps that you give him, and eventually he's going to take over. And Lawrence better be careful because he's trying to become Taysom Hill. He's trying to become somebody that's going to come in there and find a way to touch the football because there's no way in hell, Greeny, that he can help this football team as a tight end. If he really wanted to help this team and he was about to smoke, he would be an H-back and he'll be flattening his flat top inside the middle of the hole, but he ain't about that life.
So, RC, let me come to you on that. Diana brought it up. She said that she heard from some people around the league yesterday that forget about this tight end stuff, that's the vision of this, is a Taysom Hill-like role. RC, what do you think of that?
That's a worse idea than Tim Tebow actually playing tight end. I think and you just heard what Bart Scott just said. Listen, I have my feelings about Taysom Hill, the quarterback. But Taysom Hill, the athlete, is a dude. He's taller, he's faster, he's more explosive, he gives you bigger opportunities to make plays. You don't want a gadget guy to be a can't-have-it guy. And that's what Tim Tebow was. Even Tim Tebow, when he won the Heisman, right? When he became this dude that ended up leading in rushing touchdowns or in touchdowns when he left the SEC, he was a fullback. It was 4th and 1, 3rd and 1. It wasn't these huge plays that you get when you bring in someone who's spectacular at a different position. The reason you bring Taysom Hill in is because if you get a crease, you can get 20, you can get 30, or you can draw someone to the quarterback. He can pitch it to Alvin Kamara. Tim Tebow is not that. I played against the New York Jets in the second game of 2011. And in playing in that game, or 2012, whatever it was, and in playing in that game, Tim Tebow was the backup quarterback to Mark Sanchez. And they would bring him in and they would run zone read and try to run these trick plays. And everything happened so slow. Tim Tebow needs 60 plays to give you something. Not 1, not 2, not 3. So him playing a Taysom Hill role is not a thing because he is not Taysom Hill.
So I think that is, generally speaking, the opinion I've heard from everyone. So, Dan Graziano, I come to you. And Urban Meyer is a guy who coached 7 years in the Big Ten and lost 5 games. So his success on the college level speaks for itself. But are you hearing from people you talk to around the league with these curious decisions getting made, are you hearing skepticism about his ability to transition that to the NFL?
Yeah, but you always hear that when a college coach comes into the NFL, no matter how successful he's been. I mean, we've seen high-level guys like, Nick Saban and Steve Spurrier and Chip Kelly try and not succeed. So the NFL, look, the NFL community is very sure of itself in terms of it's being knowing the right way to do things. And if a college coach comes in and he's trying to do things differently, there's always going to be skepticism. Frankly, there are people that are waiting to see him fail. So Urban Meyer is definitely confronting that as he transitions to this phase of his career. And there are a lot of people that are going to point to moves he makes and go, see, he's the college guy. He's not on our level. That is definitely going on. Whether it turns out to be true or not, that's what's happening.
And Bart, super quickly, the veterans in that locker room, are they looking at this and are they thinking, what the heck is going on here?
They're unbothered with the circus that's around them. Listen, they can care less. They understand that all this is going to be sorted out when you put them pads on. Everybody looks good. It can have your thumbs up and keep your hands inside and block when you're hitting a dummy. But when you're hitting a live man across that's trying to eat, it's a different story. Well, he had his thumbs up in the picture. He had his thumbs up, so I can tell he's been getting taught.
If I'm a veteran, this does bother me. Because when I'm looking at Urban Meyer, we're talking about him transitioning to be an NFL coach. I think he has the requisite football knowledge to be an NFL caliber coach.
Sure.
You can't run a program like a mom and pop program. You can't go hire Chris Doyle, who shouldn't have a job in football, period, or in the league, because you believe you know him well enough and he's overcome those things. You can't go hire Tim Tebow because he's your friend. We don't get to hire friends in the NFL because it's about winning. And if a coach isn't putting winning first, then a coach isn't the coach for me.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.